Hi, I'm Mary Ann, and welcome to tonight's Advent story time. First, we're going to light the Advent wreath. We're lighting one candle for the first week of Advent. Tonight, I'm going to read two stories, Light of the World and What Will Be His Name. Isaiah was nestled all snug in his bed, while visions from God danced round in his head. A baby was coming, God's own special son, to bring light from the darkness and love everyone. The first story is called Light of the World. The people who are now living in darkness will see a great light. They are now living in a very dark land, but a light will shine on them. Isaiah 9:2. Have you heard of a man called Isaiah? Isaiah lived 700 years before Jesus was born, but he knew that one day Jesus would come. Isaiah was a prophet, one of God's special messengers, and one morning God gave Isaiah a wonderful message of hope that he would share with all the people living in Jerusalem. Hundreds and hundreds of years before Jesus was born, all the people in the city of Jerusalem were curled up, fast asleep in their beds, except for Isaiah. He was wide awake, standing by his open window, watching the sun as it peeked over the horizon. Isaiah felt excited. He knew that somehow this wonderful light was a special message from God. Isaiah waited, and as the sun rose higher over the horizon, its rays began to creep and dance towards the city. At last, the sun shone over Jerusalem like a huge golden ball, and all the darkness was gone. Isaiah watched in wonder as the whole city was flooded with light, and God whispered a message that made Isaiah jump up and down. He ran to his desk, dipped his feather in ink, and hurriedly began to write on a scroll. A special one is coming. God's sending him our way. It might not be tomorrow, but I know he'll come one day. He will shine with a light that will stream from heaven above. He will flood the world with hope and cover it with love. Isaiah rolled up his scroll and went back to the window. The light was still shining. Isaiah closed his eyes, and as he felt the warm sun on his face, he knew without a doubt that one day Jesus would be born. After Isaiah had told the whole town, he unrolled his scroll and wrote everything down. Now what would be the name of this special boy be? But God whispered softly, "You must wait and see." Our next story is What Will Be His Name. A child will be born to us. A son will be given to us. He will rule over us, and he will be called Wonderful Advisor and Mighty God. He will also be called Father who lives forever and Prince who brings peace. Isaiah 9:6. Isaiah closed his eyes and tried to imagine what the special baby would be called. Surely this child who would one day come to earth would have to be given a marvelous name. After all, he would be God's very own son. His name would be greater than any other name. Perhaps, Isaiah thought, the baby would be called Wonderful Advisor, because when he grew up, everyone in the whole world would be able to talk to him, and he would listen and give his very best advice. Or perhaps the baby would be called Mighty God. Wouldn't this boy grow up to be strong, powerful, and mighty? And wouldn't he be able to do impossible things? Perhaps the baby would be called Everlasting Father, because when he grew up, he would be like the most wonderful parent in the whole world. Everyone would be part of his great family, and he would be with us forever. Or perhaps the baby would have a gentler name, like Prince of Peace, because in some wonderful and mysterious way, he'd be able to bring a peace, a quiet, and a calm into people's hearts that they'd never known before. Isaiah didn't know what name would be chosen for God's son, but he knew one thing for sure. That baby would be special, and when the time was right, God would send him to earth. Please pray with me. Thank you, God, for bringing the Prince of Peace into the world and for keeping your promise to Isaiah.